Joining the resistance, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio taking heat after jetting to Hamburg to join the anti-capitalist protesters of the G20 summit just where he needed to be. This was one day after an NYPD cop was assassinated in the Bronx. Here now is Nicole Malliotakis, Republican candidate for New York City mayor. I wanted to have you here, not because this is a New York issue, but this is something we're seeing across the country, where we see these very liberal mayors of these cities spending like mad, kind of driving their city into the ground, and they sort of, Rahm Emanuel, you go all across the city, go out to LA, see Garcetti. It's happening everywhere, but they continue to get elected. And I think a lot of it has to do with the unions and the like, but how do you battle back against that?
Well, I think all you need to do is look at countries like Greece, look at even Puerto Rico, one of our territories, and the mess that they've gotten themselves into by just continuing to spend money, spend money, spend money. In New York City, this mayor has increased spending 22% in the short time he's been in office, 3.5 years. And we're not getting any results. That's the worst part of it. We see homeless on the rise, increasing 40%. We see subway crisis now, 70,000 delays a month. He pumps hundreds of millions of dollars in bureaucracy and education. We're not seeing the money get to the classroom. Our schools continue to fail. Litter, sanitation, changing the rules, even that's not happening. This mayor is failing to provide the basic city services that he was elected to do. He has just no regard for the taxpayers at all. He's not managing the city.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Chicago. When you look at it, it's the same thing where they have the wild spending, and meanwhile, crime is spiraling out of control. We saw the same thing in New York here ages ago with Dinkins, but it took until the city really fell to its knees before the special interests that are kind of able to get everyone to the polls and kind of manage the political machine on a local level before they were able to get booted out of control. So how do you get that message out? I mean, is it about getting particular groups? I mean, for example, we're talking about law enforcement. We have the picture of Bill de Blasio. You were tweeting, that he's off and away serving his ego while one of his own has been shot and killed. I mean, what is like the secret to getting it done?
Well, I think what this mayor is doing is taking the voters of New York City for granted. This is a situation that we have not seen from this mayor before. This is taking it to an all-new level. When you have not only all these quality of life issues, but now you have a tragedy in your city, one of our New York's finest assassinated. And instead of going to the ceremony to welcome in the new members that are willing to put their life on the line for the city, instead of going to meet with the family, he's on a plane going to Germany. It's a complete disregard. So not only is he not doing his job managing the city, where we're seeing this complete deterioration of quality of life, he's not even here with the city to mourn with our NYPD and fellow citizens. And I think what he's doing is he's playing New York City voters for fools, thinking that they're not going to pay attention and they're going to just vote for him because he has a Democratic label next to his name. That's not going to happen in November. Wherever I go in the city, people are outraged by what this mayor's doing. I was in the Bronx. Actually, I hit all 5 boroughs yesterday, and I met with voters from all parts of the city, and they cannot believe what's happening, and they are very upset about the homeless crisis, the transit crisis, the education. They're not getting good quality education for their children, that we're not dealing with the mentally ill in our city. It's going to come crashing down on this mayor because, unfortunately, what he's doing is neglecting his the basic responsibilities of city management, just doing the job. He's showing a disregard and not wanting to do the job because he's off fighting a national, in this case, global ideological war, instead of actually doing the basic doing the basic services that he's supposed to be providing as mayor. And that's going to, I think, have a negative impact. He can't take New York City voters for granted. They've pulled that Republican lever before. I've provided solutions on the homeless crisis. I'm standing with our NYPD. I'm saying what needs to be done to try to rectify this course. And we need to have a change for sure.
Thank you so much. The city is a mess, that's for sure. And we want to let everybody know out there, of course, we invited Bill de Blasio to come on. We continue to invite him to come on. We're fair and balanced. We want to give everyone a shot here to talk about their case. And we haven't heard back from him yet, but I think he's still globetrotting. So we'll see. Nicole, thank you.